not very loud. Yeah, let's turn. There we kind of hope that sound. This. Oh, that's not a good sign. Might be a little loud. Always gonna be a bit. This awesome sound. This little- What if I do this? Oh, yes. Miles Edra. Yeah, that's good. I hope. Sounds good here. This. Gotta love technology. Gotta love technology. Let's set this to 8. Let's set this to 8. Do I do this? We are testing. Alright, that seems good enough to me. And the green. Never mind. Okay. I don't appear to be cutting out anymore. This is the part where it would help to actually make sound. Oh, I don't even have that selected. Whoops. What does it look like when I do, though? I'll play with you some other time. Let's just go back to what I'm excited for. Hello. We're gonna put this blanket over me. I'm having sound issues. So welcome back to Ace Attorney. Now, here's the first thing I'm gonna do. Now that I've actually been editing some of these streams, I realized that this takes up a lot of space. So, hello. Time being, we'll just put all the necessities over here. We'll keep cowboy spaghetti. This? No, I'll miss him too much. So, I think we're in the need for a little recap. Last time on Ace Attorney, we met. What did we do? Well, we finished case 2. The Poppy Girl was the killer. And she had an accident and killed the doctor who, realistically, I think should have been guilty of malpractice, but the game decided, we're just gonna make the killer also guilty of it. Which I guess in some ways is more tragic, but oh well. That's going quite high. There we are. Move that down there. So what's it? Malpractice, people died. She got into an accident and had her face reconstructed, but she used her sister's face. And now, we are on the circus trial. We are defending a man, Maximilian Galactica, who is tried with killing the ringmaster. We met some fucking guy with a puppet and a clown. I'm more excited for the clown. Oh, we also met the ringmaster's daughter, and he's a bit unusual. Let's go back to episode 3. Turnabout Big Top. Wait, I need to turn my air conditioner on. I'm gonna die in here. December 29th, 9:43 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 5. Oh, fuck. Good morning, Max.
Max?
Milk. I need mommy's milk.
What?
If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie.
Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down.
I guess.
Nick, Max is really nervous.
That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? Hooah! You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone.
Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay.
Oh, sweetie. What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now. The dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that and everyone in the room will be on your side.
Max, really? No one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes?
I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. Hello. Okay, good. That's not picking up. I'm just making sure my air conditioner isn't picking up on the microphone. There we go. And now it's back to the trial. December 29th. 10 a.m. District Court Room number 2. And now the case of one.
Your Honor, get on with it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just realized the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So? Well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor. He does often go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. And now on to the murder case where Maximilian Galactica murdered the ringmaster. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Miss Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please.
I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Eh?
That spare channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count. Do you hear me?
You must still be upset about what happened last time.
You have no chance. Zero nilch nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of a Von Karma to lose at anything. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring her dad back. You shut the fuck up. There, opening statements complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time.
Very well. You may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma.
Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there, now. Sorry to keep your friend back, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective.
Don't mention it. It's no problem at all. I've been looking forward to this.
Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question.
At your service, sir. All right, detective. You may begin with your testimony.
Forget about it. Night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. Yeah. All the circus performers were gathered in Big Top to practice their routines. Practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. Sorry. The victim was bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped a vertebrae in his neck.
I see. He was beaten to death.
Here's the autopsy report for the victim.
The court accepts this into evidence.
Autopsy report added to the court record. Time of death, 10:15 p.m. Cause, blunt force trauma to the back of the head.
A blunt object. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Time for a little hydration. Fuck. There we go. I'm drinking canned tea. That will ideally help with my voice. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. Yeah, forget about it. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the night of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. Snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow. Let me see. There's gotta be more to this.
What's the matter, Nick?
I need to take a look at the court record. A monkey.
Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime?
All the circus performers were gathered in Big Top to practice their routines. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and the staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the Tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch.
Detective, you're welcome to file a police report after these proceedings.
Practice session broke up around 10 p.m. After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with the regent while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Ben the ventriloquist went to the front gate absorbed in his own world. Ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately.
Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you?
It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. I'd like you to be a little more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m. Okay. Not a problem, pal.
Got a witness that told us how the whole thing. Ow!
This is totally meaningless. Time to move on.
All right. We'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail.
A wooden box?
That's right. The victim must have been carrying a wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked. Not to mention it was locked. Locked, you say?
Wooden box added to the court record. The victim was hunched over this 20-pound box. It boasts a small but strong lock. This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box?
Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox.
So Fort Knox canonically exists in this universe.
So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. Bottle? What is that, detective? Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle.
What's inside the bottle?
It's filled with pepper. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box?
There's only one little bottle in that huge box. I wonder if it has some sort of special meaning. Small seasoning bottle added to the court record. Found inside the wooden box, the victim was hunched over. It contains pepper.
Cause of death was a blunt trauma that snapped the vertebrae in his neck. He then wrote out who the killer was.
According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct?
You've done your homework, pal.
You haven't found this murder weapon, have you?
The police are searching for it as we speak.
My theory is that, it is something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No. I bet he made him disappear with magic. Well, I've had enough. I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now.
I think that's all we're going to get out of Detective Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're going to get out of him is that little bottle of pepper?
Now that we have wrapped up with this detective, I'd like to call my next witness.
Is it the clown?
No.
I'm not even off the stand yet.
Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint.
I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Von Karma, call your next witness.
I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Penisman to the stand.
You must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trullo will show up on the stand as well. Fuck no.
Please state your...
Mucus.
Please state your name and occupation for the record.
My full name is Ventriloquist. I'm employed as an operatic tenor.
Excuse me. The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, the ventriloquist.
That rope must be cutting off your circulation. I said I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Ahem, me. The world of the law, exciting and daring, guilty or innocence. Decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think?
I'm going to kill this man.
It had rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Oh, I was supposed to sing that. Yeah, you're not.
Very low, you know better than to insult a judge.
Shut up! Just look at your nose. You would think it would have the sense to fix it. So ugly I want to punch you in the face off on the off chance that swelling would help. Know that your nose is the
I skipped that. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds.
What's going on here? Order, order! I demand to know who the witness is.
Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trill handle this.
I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm getting very old.
You won't get anywhere trying to figure this witness. Now, let's proceed. He looks like a rant Sona.
Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge.
I mean the clown.
Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading toward the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away.
As you saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene, you're sure of that?
Without a doubt, he had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy get-up and his nose stuck up so high?
That's enough. Now I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown?
That's right, dress boy.
Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime?
He's got a point. Accuse the clown. What a shame, it was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit.
Why is that?
Because I said so. There's absolute proof.
A silk hat.
This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Ah, a hat that anyone can make. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for the hat to be at the crime scene.
Well done, Miss Von Kammer. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay. I guess she's the boss again today.
My opinion on women. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge. I mean the clown.
The clown. You're talking about Mo.
Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic, I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way kneeling over for good. I did not read 9/10.
Poor guy.
We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first-place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack.
Then what happened?
Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. Uh-oh. You meant to read that.
Why the plaza's entrance?
Do some thinking, of course.
It was awfully cold out that night. Especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good thunker. At least my teachers always said I was.
That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime.
What's a crime? Are you sure it was really Max Galactica?
Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing a snobby three-piece get-up?
Snobby three-piece get-up.
Get the wax out of your ears, lawyers nowadays. You're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece get-up? Jeez, can you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. Nick, I think you should put a little more effort into preparing your questions. He was the only one headed that way. How could that punk not be the killer?
You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo?
That's right. That makes him the killer. There's only one person headed that way that night.
That makes quite a bit of sense. Makes Max one suspicious character.
More to the story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? That's a bit strange, don't you think?
What's strange?
That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well?
Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose the witness could have seen?
I'm glad you asked. The monkey. There you go.
That's the victim!
That's correct. Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza. He should have seen the ringmaster as well.
No! Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness. Could have seen him, anyone with sense could have figured that one out.
What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room.
Is that according to the defendant? A likely story. If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime?
I see. It seems at this stage I have no reason to doubt the witness's testimony. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions.
He's right.
A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now, let's move on along with the testimony.
Rilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he?
Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head.
Nick? Wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head?
Yeah. I think so. I don't know anymore.
I hit the puppets.
Once practice was over, I left the tent with the the clown.
The clown. Talking about Mo.
Of course I'm top.
Oh, I've already read this.
Max!
Around what time did the police arrive at the scene?
I suppose I would have been around. Hey, what time was it?
Huh? I think it was around, I'd say a bit after 10 p.m., I think.
Practice ended at 10 p.m. So you hung around the lodging house the entire time?
I guess that sounds about right.
Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather.
Well, the truth is...
Wait, shut up, you big-nosed dope. Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in that weather?
Well, maybe you were waiting for someone?
What? Who said we were waiting for someone?
Mr. Phoenix, right? We can do all without your offhanded theories.
But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm on to something.
Mr. Wright! What do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night?
I'm glad you asked. The Regina. Uh-oh.
Don't hold your tongue, Ben. It's your job to answer all the stupid questions.
I'm sorry, Trilo. We gotta find a way to get more information out of this witness.
Think about it some more, Nick. I'm sure you'll come up with something. Bill wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive.
I gotta... Around what time? And we're back. Regina. Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina.
Wow!
He's dead now. You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken?
Is this true?
Well, you can't really ask me that question.
Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it.
Well. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right.
Yeah? Alright. There's obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought.
That makes perfect sense.
What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime.
However, he did not see the victim on his way to his eventual demise. And if you accept that, you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else on the—
Ow! There's absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer.
I guess you got me. All right. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true. I was waiting for Regina. Bane!
Don't volunteer things.
Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time, and I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house?
I was waiting to propose to her.
You were what? Waiting to propose?
What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage?
But the matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case.
You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit.
More pain. Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of this silly proposal by a puppet.
about the proposal.
Don't be surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket.
You're going to propose. You, a puppet.
Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I...
Exactly!
His honor is looking a little less honorable right now.
Okay, Mr. Wright. Please continue with your cross-examination.
What was with that sigh at the end? Oh, that was her.
What was with that sigh at the end? Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I was even supposed to cross-examine that last dialogue.
A proposal. You mean proposing marriage, correct? To Regina?
Of course that's what I meant. What kind of stupid question is that? I was gonna propose that we become some sort of outlaw biker gang together.
Why not?
Huh. I guess you have a point. Right, Ben.
Yeah?
Got it. That's the truth. I even had something to give to her.
Now, there's a reason I'm not just presenting the ring right now. What exactly was it that you planned on giving her?
You would know exactly what I was gonna give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty.
Answer his question. What was it?
You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring.
Engagement ring? Wow. Those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing would probably shut someone up for a long time. Pain equals bad. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to— Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short.
No, I'm gonna have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology.
You sure do sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. I plan on giving an engagement ring to Regina.
Okay. This ring, right? Fuck. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence.
No. It doesn't?
Yeah.
Objection denied. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright.
Whoops. That didn't go so well. Wasn't able to give it to her, so still in his pocket. There's a reason I'm skipping you. If you can't tell, I don't like this character. He's kind of an asshole. Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it?
What are you talking about?
Uh-oh. Looks like they're gonna double team me now. Do you recognize this ring?
Ah! That's mine! Give it back! Give it back! Thief! Thief!
Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here?
Yow! Yow!
What's going on here?
That's... Ben, say something!
Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room.
Money's room? I mean, a room they put money? Like a bank vault?
Ha! That filthy monkey is gonna get what's coming to him.
Mr. Quiz, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court.
Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey in every sense of the word.
Ah, I see. Well then.
Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can, find and gather them up.
Shiny things.
Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time, that night, the night of the crime. What did you just say? Details. I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Right when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, you won't let me steal your fucking lines. Well, I guess you might, be able to say that. Ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time. Ook. Ah, no! No!
Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder.
Not for you to decide what has to do with what. I call the monkey to the stand. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand.
I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Triloquist.
What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo?
You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey money.
But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you?
It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. When he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away.
That is indeed an incredible shame.
Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point could that possibly prove? Ben doesn't exercise enough, and his testimony has a flaw. There's a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there's no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of all of this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there's no possible way that the witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene.
Interesting, Mr. Wright.
Well, then tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this elegant ventriloquist? No. Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He is blinded by his rivalry with Max.
Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendants.
What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar.
Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw that night.
Ah, I've told you so many times. You'd think you know my story's not changing.
But you changed your story, stick boy. I'm sure it will change some more.
Where there's one lie, there are usually more behind it.
Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him.
Yeah.
Witnessing Max.
I'll give you that I was waiting for the night for Regina. That doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I'd been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols.
So that means that Bunny didn't show up after you saw Max?
That's right. Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max.
Then Money snatched the ring. He went chasing after it.
How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting?
Well, let's see. I'd say about...
I suppose 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch.
Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
I'll give you that I was waiting for Regina.
So you were only concerned with waiting for Regina that night. I mean, you probably wouldn't have noticed if someone else showed up.
You should think about how many eyes I actually have. I've got 4, you know. 4! F-O-U-R. Counting Ben, of course. With that many eyes, do you really think something would have slipped past me?
4 eyes is an awful lot of attention directed at one area, I suppose.
Yikes.
The judge is even more dangerous to our case than Trilo.
I'm definitely falling for this.
But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. Oops.
So you saw Max coming out of the big top that night.
Of course. That's where I saw him coming from. I was staring at the entrance to the tent that entire time.
I guess that makes sense, especially since he was waiting for Regina.
He showed up after I'd been waiting there for about 5 minutes.
At what time would you say these events took place?
You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure it out yourself. You already know the practice finished promptly at 10 p.m. You already know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to know about what time it was when I saw him. Just add 10 more minutes. I'm sure you can do that. Now, what time was it?
Indeed. What time was it?
What time was it? Let me think about. Ow! No good at math.
It was 10:10 p.m.
Oh, yes, that sounds about right.
It sounds about right because that's the time I saw Max on the scene. I said good evening to him and he didn't even acknowledge my presence.
So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night.
Must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. Say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? It's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, man? You got something to add? Let me guess, that's not a Trilo. You say good evening at night.
I'm sorry, Trila.
Mr. Quist, I'd prefer if you kept your ventriloquist act outside the courtroom.
Possible. The performer lives and breathes his performance. You should know better.
There's got to be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Nothing especially. Ben, what the fuck are you doing here? Isn't that a bit strange to you?
What do you mean?
Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange.
Why would it strike you as strange?
Exactly. How's it strange to be cordial to one of your co-workers? Isn't it good to be nice to the people you've worked with, Phoenix Wright? You stupid motherfucker.
Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a coworker, I would understand.
Yo! That hurt! Maybe you should think of that before having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school.
No reason that Trail would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go proving that with the evidence?
Bluffing is everything in this world. I'm sure you already learned that one.
I guess I could give it a shot.
Witness will resume his testimony.
I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene.
You're 100% absolutely sure of what you just said.
No. I told you already. Jeez, I am 100% absolutely sure.
There's no way that you could be any more confident than that, right?
There's no way I can mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols.
Why not? Those 3 ridiculous symbols, huh?
Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? Gonna ask again, I'll answer with the chorus. Everyone together now.
You got my
Cloak! White roses!
Thank you very much.
Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you?
But it's fun shouting with everyone else. There must be a hole in his testimony somewhere.
I agree. But we do have the proof to make something stick.
All we can do is try, right, Nick? We've got to have something that will prove useful.
Alright. Time to go to work. And I'm here.
I give you that I was waiting for that night but it doesn't change that he showed up and I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence.
I don't trust this case. Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Maximilian Galactica?
A fight?
A fight over Regina, to be exact.
It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument. A disagreement at most.
A disagreement usually doesn't end up with someone getting conked over the head.
Ah!
That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he?
What? Is that an admission of assault and battery?
Yes, Your Honor.
Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first.
Truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There's absolutely no way that they would have become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on stand. There's no way a puppet this lewd would just stand up and say good evening to his rival.
I got amnesia from that hit.
Are you saying the witness is lying? That he's trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crimes?
I didn't tell a single lie. Honestly, I just...
That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your witness about who the witness actually saw that night?
I'm glad you asked. He saw a different person. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to.
What kind of a theory is that?
The correct. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all.
What?
If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all, which means there is only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it.
What in the world is you?
Will the defense kindly explain who it was that the Trilo saw that evening then?
He saw the monkey. Considering the ill temper of the witness, there's only one person that he would greet.
Must be Regina! Regina Wright? So cute!
No, Your Honor. It is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present.
Oh, yeah. I suppose you got a point there. Yes, I look like the asshole now.
It was Russell Barry, the victim himself, was it not?
You are correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo. Isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Answer the question, Mr. Quist.
Wow!
Order! How do you respond to this?
Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica.
I think it's high time we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that night, that evening. Problem is I didn't find who exactly that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster? One Mr. Russell Berry.
The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness had clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols.
3 symbols?
Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man. You gotta remember them by now. Here we go again. Everybody, all together now. Yeah.
Yes, we know. The silk-haired cloak and white roses. But I wanted to hear them. A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know that it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry. What?
Miss Von Karma! You have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant.
Well,
If that's the case, then it's impossible for me to make a judgment at this point.
Yes. I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. Huh? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What do you mean by that? You merely established what from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your efforts, but who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question, and evidence that clearly establishes one thing, that there's no other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime.
Very well. Court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess.
To be continued. This time on Ace Attorney.
Sweetie. You have to believe me. I didn't go anywhere near that crime scene.
So then, where were you when the murder took place?
We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's side room.
And while you were there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right?
Exactly. He told me to wait in the room because he would be right back.
Oh, that's right.
This man's a country guy.
There it is.
Exactly. He told me to wait in the room because he would be right back.
That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right?
That's what it seems like.
But the ringmaster must have been wearing Max's costume, right?
Hooah! Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room, still dressed in my stage clothes. But when I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off.
Which means...
But I was sitting there in my underwear.
It means that the ringmaster could have taken his costume and went out looking like Max.
Hooah! Fabulous! That's a fabulously possible possibility.
Well done, Nick.
However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, they found at the crime scene, all they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go?
Double.
Wow, Max, I never thought of that. You should be a detective or something.
Well, I was never quite sure what to be when I grew up. Magician or president? You have no idea how hard it was to make a decision.
That's really cool.
Fabulous. This mystery just keeps getting deeper. December 29th, 12:06 p.m. District Court Room number 2.
Now that everyone is back, let's get started. This court is now back in session. Miss Von Karma, please proceed with the prosecution's case.
Very well. I will now call my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing. Will Mr. Lawrence Curls please take the stand?
Why did she just call him a pitiful clown? Okay. Time to ping the Discord about its clown time. Ooh. And there we go.
The witness will state his name and record for the court records.
In West Clowndale, born and raised, I was in playground where I was raised.
Name and occupation.
Will the witness please inform the court why he's speaking in autobiographical gibberish?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just not used to being in the court. I've never been in a courtroom in my life. I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited for this sort of occasion.
What in the world are you talking about? You're a grand hall of justice, not some comedy club. Since it's easy to see your occupation, please state your name for the court.
Oh, yeah. Maybe this joke is okay. Mom, do I have to wear pants? The sign says, no shirt, no shoes, no service. Geez, tough crowd. Okay. How about this? Have you met my proctologist, Dr. Seymour Butts? Oh, that one. What a couple of clowns were up no good, sir.
Is your name?
Lord Curls. Professional funny man, also known as Mo the Clown.
Is your witness the scene at around 10 p.m. the day of the murder, correct?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Very well, Mr. Curls. Will you please testify to what you saw that evening?
A rabbi, a priest, and a Rastafarian walked to the plaza.
Without the humor, please.
Okay.
Or no, Mo can't be his normal stoogey self in court. What you witnessed.
I know. I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. I haven't been able to make people laugh in 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare and polite applause. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've taken to laughing at them myself. It's a bad habit, but hey, at least I'm trying. Imagine my predicament. I'm a clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. I'm like the guy that sells a turn signal in a BMW. But I keep trying. I even tried to come up with jokes just for today. This atmosphere is just nerve-wracking. I decided to try making everyone laugh. Seriously, everyone, what do you think of me? How am I doing?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Are we the ones supposed to be asking the questions here?
A witness.
Huh?
We will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Thus, please stick to the facts of this case.
Really? You'll really hear me out?
Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your statesman later.
Thank you. I can't wait. Poor Gumshoe.
Now that that's settled, shall we begin once again with the testimony? Of course we can. I'll talk for as long as you want.
What you witnessed.
The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. That's when I saw two statues, silhouettes. They were a bit far away, though. It was the ringmaster. He was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max plunked the ringmaster over the head.
It's very interesting. This eyewitness account is to be believed. I don't have enough to pass judgment right now.
Of course you can. There's no way this account can be criticized.
However, the witness is a bit, how do you say, off-kilter. Almost like he has some sort of atmosphere of guilt surrounding him.
That must be because of my insincere smile.
Minister Wright, please begin the defense's cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, you gotta find some sort of contradiction in his testimony.
I know that.
Mr. Wright?
Your Honor.
I'm afraid that if you push this witness too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. Thus, I sincerely hope you're not going to engage in pointless saber-rattling.
I understand, Your Honor. If you cause this clown to stray from the facts, I'll hold you responsible. Why am I responsible? I'm not the one with the corny jokes. Okay. So, this is where a controversial gameplay effect happens. Just by pressing him, I can get penalized. Say the practice wrapped up around 10 p.m., correct?
See, that's the thing. Huh? How exactly am I supposed to make a joke about 10 p.m.? Now, 8 o'clock. That's something a clown could riff off of. Let's just pretend it was 8 o'clock. That way I can make a great joke. Let's not. Let's not make it 8 p.m., alright, Mo? What do you mean, let's not? Don't take the clown out of the clowning round.
Come on, Nick, just listen to his joke.
There are 3 reasons why I don't want to. 1, I probably won't laugh. 2, I'll get hit with a penalty. 3, I'll get whipped. Will the witness just please proceed with the factual testimony?
You're so boring.
You have no idea how tired I got that night. I was pooped. You were pooped that night. Yes, I was very, very tired. Not to mention I had some bad Mexican food. What? The double cheese, double bean enchilada is a dangerous menu item. What happened after that? Say it happened. That one was cool, huh? I hear the kids really love toilet humor these days. That joke was so hip, I don't want to ruin it with a reply.
I've got a good reply, though. The joke was so funny it just earned you a penalty.
There we go. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. You just happened to glance out the window? You could say that. You could also say I peeked, stared, and glimpsed, peeped, eyeball.
Mr. Curls!
Oh, I guess cinnamons aren't allowed either. What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on this issue. Exactly why did you look out your window that night? Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out their windows, do they? That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday, as I tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thwomp. Not funny, didn't laugh. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You forgot? Your Honor, the witness looked out his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that thump, didn't I?
Ow! That's not something you'll forget to mention. Yeah. What she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony.
Very well, Mr. Curls, please revise your testimony.
Should start turning the tables in our favor.
I heard a huge noise outside the window, and that's what made me look outside.
What was the sound like?
Well, I guess it kind of sounded like. I guess you could say.
Mr. Curls, may the court remind you that humor is unnecessary.
No! How did you know I was going to make a joke? I guess the sound sounded like I suppose it sounded like someone getting hit with something very hard. Yep, that's what it sounded like, honestly.
Someone getting hit.
What then? You went to look out the window and you saw?
That's when I saw two silhouettes, and they were a bit far away, though.
Far away, you say? If you had to say exactly, how far away were they?
Let me think about that for a second. If my room is here, they looked about yay big. I'd say they were about 30 feet from my window.
Just 30 feet? That's not far at all.
It was snowing that night, and it cut down on visibility.
I see. Please continue with your testimony regarding the two shadows you saw.
It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak.
You'd say you clearly saw this, even though you were, by your own admission, far away?
That's right. I've been thinking it over, since that night. But things didn't really make sense until I spoke with the prosecutor, Mr. Von Karma. Now I'm 100% certain that it was Max and the ringmaster I saw that night. Just think about it. How could I be wrong if Max is always wearing his uppity symbols?
Uppity symbols.
Lawyers nowadays, do you even have to go to school anymore to be one? Alright, everybody knows what to do. All together now. Say it with Uncle Mo. Fuck. See what I mean? It's always like this. The crowd never wants to go along with me. I must be utterly and completely worthless as a clown.
Yowza! Enough foolishness. Get back on track.
Will the witness please testify as to what he saw? And only what he saw.
I kept watching them, and all of a sudden Max clunked the ringmaster over the head.
You say that you saw the ringmaster get clunked over the head?
Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story.
He really does enjoy the complete random non sequitur. What would you say the victim was struck with?
You mean the weapon? I have no idea. The weapon wasn't found at the murder scene, right?
That's not what I meant. You did say you saw everything. You did say you see everything, didn't you?
Well, yeah. I suppose I did. Wait, no, I didn't. I didn't see a weapon.
Mo, did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night? I will not permit you to harass my witness in this manner. You better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor clown. Because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty. Gulp. Isn't this a bit melodramatic? So what will it be then, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have any clear basis to believe my witness did not see the crime? Of course I don't! Well, see, right now, I don't have a clear basis to be thinking that. Then this is just another one of your pointless efforts to badger my witness. Thus you have earned yourself a penalty from me.
Wait a second, Miss Von Karma. This time I do not feel the need to treat Mr. Wright so harshly. Fuck.
That's right, what he said. Held by the judge, what an honor indeed.
We must penalize Mr. Wright for his display. I think a verbal censure would be best.
Huh?
You know the rules, Miss Wright. There's no room for baseless hounding in this courtroom.
I guess he didn't really bail me out after all.
You know, Mo's testimony and what he told us yesterday are kind of different.
Yeah, I noticed. You just gotta pinpoint what's changed.
You can do it, Nick.
Okay, that's less health than I'm comfortable with. Straight to his room. I took myself out in the bed, and then I went to look out my window, and then I saw that motherfucker get glocked. But a huge noise was on my window. That's what made me took a look outside. Okay. What was that sound? When I saw two silhouettes. Uppity symbols. You saw him get clonked over the head. What's will repeat, Mr. Phoenix writes? Do you have any clear basis to believe this witness did not seize a crime? Of course I do. I've got a great reason to make my claim.
I suppose you will be telling us all of that great reason.
Of course I will. The reason is the witness's very own testimony.
What is the meaning of that, Mr. Wright?
Mo said that he heard a sound like a thump of someone getting hit.
He did say that.
However, Mo just stated the following under oath. I kept watching them. All of a sudden, Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo's to believed when he looked out the window upon hearing a sound, there's no way that he could have seen Max clonk anyone. In 1972.
Mr. Curls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessments?
They didn't commit. These clowns promptly escaped from a maximum security clap car.
Mr. Curls, are you reciting the CT theme to an anger this court?
No. I'm just holding for time while I jog my memory.
Great job, Nick.
These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. You just have to peel back the layers of the clown makeup to find the truth. Well,
Oh, you're back from your jog?
Well, it pretty much happened the way I said. Pretty much. When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statements. Von Karma. Tampering with the witnesses again. Okay. Still streaming. That's good.
So now you're saying that you did not see the defendant clonk the ringmaster?
Yes. When I looked out my window, the ringmaster had already checked out.
Checked out?
Yep. Was on permanent vacation, as they say.
Mr. Curls!
Your Honor.
You did not witness the actual crime. However, you still say you saw the criminal, correct?
Yes, exactly. The ringmaster was slumped over, and I saw someone's silhouette next to him.
Very well. Then please testify to the silhouette you saw. I expect the truth. And if I even catch a hint of a joke from you, I will put you in a...
Went to Von Karma for a second.
I will put you in a holding cell until you learn court etiquette. Got it?
Got it?
It was a bit far away, but that shuttle could have only belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his opry symbols. His silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there's no doubt that it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, but I couldn't really see what he was carrying.
It does seem if the defendant was at the scene of the crime.
Took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever, this should finally be good enough, yes?
It is decisive testimony.
Max really at the scene of the crime that night?
He said he wasn't there. We have to believe in that.
All right, Mr. Wright. Commence your cross-examination.
Silhouettes.
It was a bit far away, but the shadow could have only belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his opry symbols.
Don't you think that you're going a little overboard with how explicit you're being? That shadow belonged to Max. That is an awfully firm statement, don't you think?
What are you getting at?
I'm just saying that one of your fellow performers' life is on the line here. Are you truly 100% absolutely certain that it was Max?
I'm not the kind of person who would lie about something as serious. I'm not the kind of person who would lie about something as serious as this. Silhouette I saw was Max. I'm convinced of that.
Doesn't seem like he's jumping to any conclusions this time. Let's go over it again then. What makes you so sure that you saw Max that night?
There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his opry symbols.
Trilo said the same thing, but if that was just the symbols, then even I could have been wearing them. What if someone had just taken Max's symbols and worn them?
I thought of that myself. But just looking at the shape of the face I saw, it must have been Max.
You sure that's...
Such a silly little boy. He threw his entire case headlong into a trap. I should save.
The silk hat, the black cloak, they were all there.
You're sure that is what you saw that night?
Exactly. That is what I saw. It is exactly what I saw. I've got eyes like a hawk.
Don't birds have terrible night vision?
I have eyes of an eagle. But that's not what I saw. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him.
You were able to see that kind of detail from your window.
There was light near the scene of the crime. Anyone with decent eyesight should have been able to see that much. Out of curiosity, Mo, what is your eyesight like?
I'm glad you asked. It's 120. I can see like a hawk out of my left eye, and an eagle out of my right eye.
Our records say his eyesight is a perfect 20/20.
That must mean he could have seen the crime scene clearly.
The more we look into the matter, the more suspicious it becomes.
Hey, you asked me what my eyesight was like, not what it actually was. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying.
So, you didn't actually see what the criminal was holding?
That's correct. I've been curious to know what caused that loud sound. It must have been something incredibly hard.
Too bad they haven't found the murder weapon to know for sure.
They claim it was a blunt object. At least it says so in the autopsy report.
Trilo's testimony and now Mo's. It really seems like Max is the killer.
Nick, you gotta find a contradiction in this.
It's not gonna be enough.
What?
I have to prove that Mo saw someone other than Max that night. Hello!
Welcome to the chat room.
That is the only thing that will help. I've got to do it.
It was a bit far away, but that shadow could have only belonged to Max. No doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. The Silkat, that black cloak, they were all there.
They were all there. You say you saw Max's uppity symbols.
I suppose so. The Silkat and the cloak, right?
Mo. Everyone knows that Maxima and Galactica has 3 uppity symbols.
3 symbols.
Yay! Everyone get ready! All together now! Hellcat, cloak, white roses.
What the?
Who cares if he knows that there were 3 or not? He saw what he saw, and he saw the symbols. He just forgot to mention one. Isn't that right, Mo?
You like pie, love pie, 3.1415.
Silence, fool! You're to respond with the whole truth, no fractions.
Order! Order!
Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you?
Be honest. There weren't any roses on the person I saw.
The crime scene was dark. It's obvious that it was too dark to see that kind of detail. But the witness said he was able to see the silhouette
Of the criminal's face. Not to mention that the roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them.
Then the roses must have fallen off when the defendant assaulted the victim.
If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the crime scene.
Mr. Wright, are these white roses truly material to the facts of this case?
Clearly not. He's just toying with his courts.
Got her on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts have never failed to lead me to the truth yet. Someone is toying with the court, but it's not me. Your Honor, do you recall Trilo's testimony?
There's no way I can mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece getup?
Trilo saw them all. Trilo saw all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims there were no white roses on the person he saw. There's absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction.
Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard the pointless, but this...
Judge, forget the roses. Think about his other testimony. The witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap this case up now.
Your Honor, it may be trivial, but it does not cast doubt on the prosecution's case. It does...
I heard you. Guilty. Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. It seems that, unlike wine, this witness has not grown more mature with age.
I'm not mature?
I've come to a conclusion. I'm 99% certain that this witness saw the defendants. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable. Means for that my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit of more testimony.
What?
If there are no contradictions in this next statement, I'm prepared to issue a ruling.
Ruling.
Nick, this is your last chance. We're going to save again.
There's no doubt in my mind. There were no white roses that night. However, all the other symbols were there. I'm equally certain of that. Especially the silk hat. There's no way I could forget that. Seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene.
It's alright. You've got one last chance at this.
Just one chance?
I will not allow even the slightest hint of battering against this witness. If if you're going to prove to me that there's a contradiction with Mr. Colonel's statement, you'd better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations.
I've only got a single shot at this. I've got to be careful. I understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I will need. Okay. We're supposed to present here. However, there's a funny piece of dialogue here I kind of want to show off.
There's no doubt in my mind, there were no white roses that night.
Mo, be honest.
No! Your promise, Mr. Phoenix Wright. No more badgering. I hope you enjoy this penalty. I'm finished.
Excuse me. I'm the one handling the Oh!
Witness, continue with your testimony.
You're not going to whip me too, are you?
Maybe after the court, if you're into that kind of thing.
That was the line of dialogue.
What? Isn't it kind of pointless if you only whip me after court? There's no doubt in my mind, there were no white roses that night. However, all the other symbols were there. I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There's no way I could fix it. Seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene.
What do you think, Nick?
There's no way I'm going to lose after coming this far. Got to be an answer. It's probably in the court record.
He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene.
This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat you saw that night, but it's... Yeah, they were subtle with her. That was straight up.
Yep, that's it. That's the hat he was wearing that night.
No question in your mind?
Exactly. How would one mistake a thing like that?
I see.
There's some sort of problem, Mr. Wright.
Miss Von Karma. Where exactly was the silk hat found?
Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. The crime scene, that means...
Silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness stated that he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene.
No, that's not true!
Order! 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 Mr. Curls!
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the meaning of all of this? You're old enough to know better than to behave like this in court.
Hey, that's just not right. That's so harsh.
It's not right here's your eyesight or your memory, amongst other things.
Okie dokie, take your time.
Why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess. You didn't like my jokes or something, right? You don't have to go and insult my eyesight or my memory. They're both great. Seriously, why? Just because you're sitting above me and doesn't matter how old I get, I'll always be younger than you. Whoa!
Where?
Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls. Who do you think you are?
I saw him. I saw him. It was Max. Even if he didn't have his roses, he was still wearing his dumb silk hat. I'm telling the truth.
He was turning into a bratty little kid.
Pitiful, isn't it?
He left the scene wearing that dumb silk hat. He was there.
He left the scene.
What's the matter, Nick?
Something I've been mulling over for a while now. Mo,
What do you want?
you just said that he left the scene. Exactly how did the murderer leave the scene of the crime?
What? He went... What do you mean, how he left the scene? You can't ask me that.
Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honor. This witness's testimony is full of holes. Miss Von Karma's protest is useless.
You've got a point. Let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that all right with you, little guy?
Talk to me like I'm a little baby! Besides, what's kind of stupid question is, how did he leave the crime scene? That's just obvious. He just turned around and walked away.
That's what I expected you to say. You sure that's how it happened?
Say what?
I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to hop on the smallest things. Do you have any proof to counter his story as to how the criminal left the scene?
Yes, I do. Look at this picture.
Look at this photograph!
The problem is the footprints in the snow.
Footprints?
In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't there.
Ay, 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 ay!
So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honor, this witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all of this witness's testimony from the court record.
I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came to court in.
You came to court in a clown car?
Wait just a second. You guys can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine, fine. I'll tell you the truth this time.
You wait a second! I think you've said more than enough for today.
That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyways. I'll give you the real deal this time. I swear.
I don't know why, but I get the feeling things are going to get worse before they get better.
Mr. Lawrence Curls,
Yes?
the testimony you've provided up until now has been false?
Hasn't been false. I haven't lied. It's just
what?
It's just I was a bit confused on a bit about the criminal leaving the scene. Especially since Von Karma and her whip told me not to talk about what I really saw.
Von Karma! You're hiding evidence again!
Order! Order! I will have order! Francisco von Karma! How could you?
Your Honor, if you had heard the truth from this witness, you would have exactly the same opinion as I have.
What opinion is that?
It's not funny.
That's enough out of you. I'm gonna listen to what he has to say. Now then, let's hear the truth of what you have to of what you say you saw, Mr. Curls.
You're not gonna believe this. It's all true, I tell you.
Try not to waste our time with your idiotic drivel.
The truth.
Now it's time for the next segment. Mo knows. Everything I've said up till now has been the truth. When I looked out the window, the ringmaster was down, and Max was standing above him. He wasn't wearing his white roses. He was wearing the silk hat. That's when I saw he. This is the truth now. Get ready for it. He flew. He jumped up in the air and flew through the air. He flew right off and disappeared into the darkness. That's why there were no footprints. Flying people don't leave footprints.
I told you it wasn't funny. Do you believe me now?
Lie. In this courtroom. Also, hi!
Well, that was, how do you put this into words?
Maximilian Galactica is a world-class magician, but who leaves the scene of the crime by flying. There's no way that actually happens.
You're right.
Why is she right? You believe the other witnesses? Why would you believe me? Especially since it's the best part of the story.
To be honest, this is the first time I've heard of a flying criminal. What do you think about this witness's testimony, Mr. Wright?
It's all a dream, right?
He's telling the truth. What he just said was so strange, I don't think he would have made it up.
Which means that he's telling the truth?
That's what I think.
Nick, wait! That means Max actually used magic!
Yikes, you're right.
No! Only a foolish fool who could be fooled by such a foolish fool's foolish dream. Don't be ridiculous. Magic does not exist.
I suppose I will let you all on my thinking regarding this matter. The criminal disappeared into the sky. I'd love to believe that. I just can't wrap my head around how it could have actually happened.
You imbecile!
I would disregard a need for proof Miss Von Karma's case is sound. However, I've got the feeling that this case is in dire need of more investigation. Thus, I will conclude today's proceedings on this point. The undisputed fact that the criminal left no footprints at the scene. Tomorrow, I want us to find out the reason behind the mystery of mysteries. I believe that's enough for today. Court is adjourned. You may now leave.
December 29th, 2:33 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby, number 5.
Hey, sweeties. What in the world is going on?
That's what I want to know. They say that criminal flew off into the air and disappeared.
Max. I can't believe I'm asking this. But you didn't fly that night, did you?
I know you didn't mean to ask me such a fabulously stupid question. I can't fly whenever I please. It's not that easy.
Yeah. Well, rough after Christmas. Fucking... I'm sure dying after Christmas is also pretty rough.
But it looks so effortless for you on stage.
It's not that simple. I'm not actually flying on stage. I use invisible wires and have them horse me through the air.
Wow! Just told me the secret to your magic.
No! I broke the first rule, the cardinal rule. The only rule.
Sorry, Max. Made you break a magician's creed to never reveal the secret to their tricks.
Nick! What do we do now?
All we can do now is hope we find the flying criminal in court tomorrow.
Great idea! Let's do our best and catch this sucker!
To be continued. We're gonna save. December 29th, 3 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. Oh. Cool. So it will not let me quit. So, thank you for coming to the stream today. Ignore that. The main title screen. Ignore that. Thank you for visiting this stream today. We had a little bit of a later start than I would have liked. I know I won't be able to get through this entire next investigation, but we have now gotten through the worst part of what I consider the worst case in Ace Attorney. I like the clown. He was the good part. Next Friday, hopefully, we will be heading on to the investigation, which I consider one of the best parts of this trial. I'm going to try and wrap up this case next stream. Because I'm looking very forward to the case after this. Not only is it the best case in this trial, but it's even one of my top 5 favorite cases. I haven't played the second part of the Great A's Attorney, so I don't have a complete judgment yet. In the meantime, we're gonna see if any of my friends are streaming.
Yes, we're going to... Shit, I didn't mean to press the button.
We're going to raid one of my friends if they're active. You. A dear friend of mine is playing Stardew Valley right now. Oh, thank you, Violet Amphitheater, for the follow. I did not notice that. My bad. So we're going to raid a friend of mine, J03YKO. He's playing Stardew Valley. So, if you're trying to play the update without knowing anything, I recommend closing your eye. Thank you for joining the stream today. Have a good one. Maybe even a good 2. Oh shit. There's a countdown. Okay, there we go.
Now!
Have fun!